Good day everyone, most especially on our subject advisor, Sir Michael de la Cruz. I'm Mike Rodriguez from 11 STEM Mars, and I will present the differentiation rules for algebraic function. But first, let's define what is the derivatives. The derivative is the rate of change of a function with respect to a variable. Derivatives are fundamental to the solution of problem in calculus and differential equation. In general, scientists observe changing system, which is dynamical system, to obtain the rate of change of some variable of interest. Incorporate this information into some differential equation and use integration techniques to obtain a function that can be used to predict the behavior of the original system under diverse conditions. In differentiation rules for algebraic function, we have 6 rules, which are the constant rule, the power rule, the constant multiple rule, the sum and difference rule, the product rule, and the quotient rule. And now, let's proceed to the rule number 1. Rule number 1, the constant rule. If f of x is equals to c where c is a constant, then the derivatives of f of x is equals to 0. Meaning to say, if a given number is a constant number, then the answer is always 0. Let's give an example. If y is equals to 10, then the derivatives of y is equals to 0. We all know that 10, -3, and 5 are constant number. That's why they became 0. And now let's proceed to the rule number 2. Rule number 2, which is the power rule. A function of the form f of x is equals to x raised to k, where k is a real number, is called power function. And now let's give an example. If y is equals to x raised to 97, y is equals to 97 x 97 minus 1, and the derivatives of y is equals to 97 x raised to 96. Dito naman sa example na to is the 97, i-move siya on the left side sa pinakauna, and then i-minus yung exponent. Kaya naging siyang 97 x raised to 96. And the example number 2, if y is equals to x raised to 9, and then same process, ilalagay ulit siya sa unahan and then minus pag sa exponent. And now, this is example with negative exponent. X raised to -3. And then again, same process, i-move siya on the first and the left side first bago yung x. And then dahil -3 siya, you have to add 1. Kaya naging 4 siya. And remember, if a exponent is negative, we have to reciprocate it para maging siyang positive. Ito, kaya siya naging -3 over x raised to 4. Rule number 3, the constant multiple rule. It says here that if f of x is equals to k, h of x, where k is a constant, then the derivatives of f of x is equals to k, the derivative of h of x. Let's give an example. Y is equals to 9x raised to 5. The first process is we have to multiply the whole number to the exponent. 9 times 5 is equals to 45. And if we have positive exponent, we have to subtract it. That's why it became the derivatives of y is equals to 45x raised to 4. Example number 2. Y is equals to 8x raised to 3. Again, same process. We have to multiply the constant number on the exponent. 8 times 3 is equals to 24. And then we have positive exponent. We have to subtract it. That's why it became 24x squared. Example number 3. Y is equals to 7x raised to 4. The first process is same. We have to multiply negative 4 times 7 is equals to negative 28. And it because negative exponent, we have to add 1. And if we have negative exponent, we have to reciprocate it. That's why it became positive exponent. Y is equals to negative 28 over x raised to 5. Rule number 4, the sum and difference rule. If f of x is equals to g of x plus h of x, and g and h are differentiable function, then the derivatives of f of x equals the derivatives of g of x plus the derivative of h of x. Let's give an example. Y is equals to x raised to 6 plus 8. Same process with rule number 3. We have to multiply it on the ru- yung nasa babang number. 6 times x equals 6x. And the reason why it became 0, it because the 8 is a constant. And that's why it became 6x. Example number 2. Yx raised to 8 minus 9x raised to 7 plus 100. Again, same process, we have to multiply the exponent to the constant number. And then if the exponent is positive, we have to subtract it. And if we have negative exponent, we have to add. That's why it became y is equals to 64x raised to 7 minus 63x raised to 6. Example number 3. Y is equals to 9 over 7 y raised to 6 minus 8w plus 86. Again, we have to copy the kung ano yung nasa taas, which is 9, and then y w6. Again, the same process, we have to subtract the exponent. 9w 5, and then the negative minus 8w plus 86. The 86 is a constant, that's why it became 0. And then 8w, we have to copy the 8. That's why it became the derivative of y is equals to 9w raised to 5 minus 8. Rule number 5, the product rule. Example, y is equals to quantity 3x squared minus 7 quantity 3x squared minus 7. On the left side, we have f of x, and the right side, we have g of x. And then, the derivatives of f of x, we have to find. The first step, let's find the derivatives of f of x. 3x squared. 3 times 2 equals 6. 6x. And then we have the formula. We have to copy the formula. F of x, g of x equals to f of x and the derivatives of g of x plus g of x, the derivative of f of x. First, let's copy the value of f of x, which is the 3x squared minus 7, and then copy the derivatives of g of x, which is 6x, and then plus g of x, the value of g of x is 3x squared minus 7, and then the derivatives of f of x is equals to 6x. And then now let's combine. Let's combine 3x squared times 6x is equals to 18x cubed. 6x times 7x is equals to 42x plus 3x squared times 6x is equals to 8x cubed. 6x minus 6x times 7 is equals to 42x. That's why it became 36 cubed minus 84x. Example number 2. 4x minus 10, again that's f of x, and then 2x minus 25, that is g of x. Let's find first the derivatives of f of x, which is 4, and then the derivatives of g of x is 2. Again, we have to use the same process or the same formula. F of x, and then the derivatives of g of x plus g of x, and then the derivatives of f of x. And then copy what is the value of f of x, which is the 4x minus 10, and then the value of the derivatives of g of x is 2 plus g of x. The value of g of x is 2x plus 25, and the value of f of x is equals to 4. Again, we have to combine, or let's apply the FOIL method. 2 times 4x is equals to 8x. 2 times 10 equals to 20 plus 8x, ay 2x times 4 is equals to 8x plus 25 times 24 is equals to 100. And then 8x plus 8x is equals to 16x. And then 20 minus 100 is equals to 80. That's why it became 16x plus 80. Example number 3. Y is equals to 10x3, which is the f of x, and 25x plus 5, which is the derivatives g of x, and then the derivatives of f of x is equals to 10, and the derivatives of g of x is 25. The formula is f of x, and then the derivatives of g of x plus g of x, the derivatives of f of x. And then we have to copy the value of f of x, which is the 10x minus 3. Value of g of x is 25 plus the value of g of x is 25x plus 5. And then the value of f of x is equals to 10. And then let's combine or apply the FOIL method. 25 times 10x is equals to 250x. 25 min 25 times 3 is equals to 75 plus 25x times 10 is equals to 250x plus 10 times 5 is equals to 50. 250x plus 250x is equals to 500x. And then minus 75 plus 20, 75 plus 50, or 75 minus 50 is equals to 25. That's why it became 500x minus 25. The last rule, the quotient rule. If f and g are differentiable function with g of x and then equals to 0, then differentiate y is equals 3x plus 7 over x squared minus 4. We have formula on the rule number 6, which is the g of x and then the derivatives of f of x minus f of x, the derivative of g of x over g quantity x squared. On the upper we have to find the derivatives of f of x. The derivatives of 3x plus 7 is 3, and the derivatives of g of x, which is x squared minus 4, and the derivatives is 2x. And we have to copy the formula, which is gx, and the derivatives of f of x minus f of x, and the derivatives of g of x over g of x raised to 2. The value of g of x is equals to x squared minus 4, and the derivatives of x is 3 minus the derivatives, or I mean the f of x, the value of f of x is 3x plus 7, and the derivatives of g of x is 2x. 3 times x squared is equals to 3x squared minus 3 times 4 is equals to 12 minus 3x times 2x is equals to 6 squared plus 7 times 2x is 14x, and copy the denominator, which is x squared minus 4 quantity squared. That's why it became negative 3x squared minus 14x negative 12 over x squared minus 4 raised to 2. Example number 2. Y is equals to 3x plus 10 over x squared minus 5. Let's find the derivatives of f of x, which is 3, and then the derivatives of g of x, which is 2x. Again, we have to copy the formula. First, we have to copy the value of g of x, which is x squared minus 5, and then copy the formula of the derivatives of f of x, which is 3, and then formula of f of x is 3x plus 10, and the derivatives of g of x is 2x. Combine like terms, 3 times x squared minus 3 times x squared is equals to 3x squared minus 3 times 5 equals to 15 minus 3x times 2 is equals to 6x squared plus 10 times 2 is equals to 20x. Again, we have to copy the denominator. That's why it became negative 3x squared minus 20x minus 15 over x squared minus 5 raised to 2. Last example, differentiate y is equals to negative 3x squared plus 4 over 4x squared minus 3. We have to find the derivatives of f of x. 3x squared, negative 3x squared plus 4, the derivatives of f of x is negative 6. And then g of x is 4x squared minus 3, and then the derivative of g of x is 8x. We have to copy the formula g of x, which is 4x squared minus 3, and then the derivatives of f of x, which is 6x minus the derivative, the f of x, which is 3x squared plus 4, and then the derivatives of g of x is equals to 8x, and then over the kung ano yung nasa baba, which is 4x squared minus 3 quantity squared. Again, same process. We have 2 times or FOIL method. Negative 6x Negative 6x times 4x squared is equals to 24x cubed plus 6x times 3 is equals to 18x plus 3x squared times 8x is equals to 24x cubed. 8x times 8x minus 4 is 8x minus 4 is 32. Copy the denominator, which is 4x squared minus 3 quantity squared. And then we have to combine the like term, or we have to arrange it according to their exponent. 24x is cancelled, and then 18x minus 32x is equals to negative 14x, and then copy the denominator, which is 14x cubed minus 3 raised to 2.